All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive with me? Today we're tackling something that might seem super basic, but trust me, it's way more interesting than you think. We're talking about good old Cruel plus Z.
Trill plus Z.
Yeah, you know that magical keyboard shortcut we all use a million times a day
Hmm.
for fixing typos, undoing formatting, you name it. But here's the thing. Tradle plus Z is way more than just an undo button. It's like this secret weapon that has totally changed how we work and create in the digital world.
I think you're absolutely right. And it's something we probably don't even think about much because it's become so ingrained in our digital lives.
Exactly. And that's why we're going to dig into it today. We've got some really
Right.
cool stuff to unpack here based on what you sent me. Like, honestly, imagine a world without Triol plus Z. Can you even think about those old school computers where every single keystroke was basically set in stone?
Oh, yeah. Talk about pressure. One wrong move and boom, you could lose hours and hours of work. No safety net whatsoever.
Right. Like terrifying. So when Treadle plus Z came along, it was a total game changer.
Absolutely revolutionized
I mean,
things.
it's like a safety net for our brains almost.
Yeah.
You know, you mess up, no biggie, just hit Treadle plus Z and poof, it's like it never happened. But it's not just about fixing typos, right?
Yeah.
I was reading in one of the articles you sent me about how graphic designers, coders, writers, like all these creative people rely on undo constantly to experiment and try new things without being afraid to mess up.
It's so true. I mean, undo has become this essential part of so many creative processes. It gives you this freedom to just go for it, try out crazy ideas, explore different approaches, knowing you can always just backtrack if it doesn't work out. In a way, Street Troll plus Z has made us all way more courageous in our digital lives.
Totally. Okay, so I kind of get how it works on a basic level, right? You make a change in a document or whatever the software remembers what you did, and then you hit Street Troll plus Z, and boom, it's undone. But the thing I don't really get is like, how does the software actually keep track of all those actions?
Well, think of it this way. Every time you do anything in a program, whether it's typing a letter or moving an image or whatever, the software basically takes a snapshot of that exact moment like it's freezing time.
Okay.
And it keeps stacking up all these snapshots in this temporary history. It's kind of like a stack of cards.
Oh, I see. So like a digital breadcrumb trail.
Exactly, you got it. And the really cool part is that when you hit Schroeder plus Z, you're essentially flipping back through that stack of cards one by one.
So every Street Troll plus Z is like taking a step back in time. That is so cool.
It is. And here's where it gets even more mind-blowing. Some programs just use a simple undo history, so you can only go back in a straight line. But others have this thing called branching undo, which means you can actually explore different paths of actions, like different timelines. You can even jump back to a specific moment in time if you want.
Whoa. Hold up. So it's like a time machine for your work.
Pretty much. It gives you so much control. And of course, then you've got Shitrol plus Y or redo, which lets you move forward through those actions again if you change your mind. It's all about flexibility.
Okay, mind officially blown. But this brings up another interesting question. Does having this constant safety net make us like more reckless in our digital actions?
Yeah,
You know, because we know we can always just undo anything.
that is a fascinating question. And to be honest, it's something researchers are still trying to figure out.
Yeah, like do we get sloppy because we rely on Control plus Z too much?
Right. And some people definitely argue that. But
Huh.
personally, I think it actually makes us more experimental because we're not so afraid to make mistakes. We're more willing to take risks to try things that might seem crazy because we know we can always just hit undo and go back if we need to.
Hmm, that makes sense. So it's not just about fixing mistakes, it's also about being creative and pushing boundaries.
Yeah. Exactly. And it applies to pretty much anything you do on a computer, whether it's creative stuff or just everyday tasks, like writing reports, coding new features,
Uh-huh.
even composing an email. Curl plus Z gives you the power to experiment, to try and fail and try again without stressing about making things perfect the first time around.
I think what's really hitting home for me is how much Control plus Z has changed our whole mindset towards working on computers.
Yeah.
It's just way less stressful now.
You sure? I totally agree.
Almost like it's made it more fun.
Absolutely. That sense of freedom knowing you can undo almost anything you do has had a huge impact on how we approach problems, how we express ourselves, and even how we interact with technology as a whole.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. So I'm curious, has having undo changed how you work? Has it saved you from any major digital disasters?
Oh, definitely countless times. But I'd love to hear from our listeners too. How has undo changed the way you work and create? But here's another question to think about. What if we could apply the idea of undo to things beyond the digital world?
Whoa. Okay, yeah.
I mean, what if we could undo things in real life? What would you undo if you had the chance?
That's a really interesting question to think about. It makes you realize how powerful this simple little keyboard shortcut really is.
I know, right?
Thanks for helping us all appreciate Spiel plus Z a little
Ugh,
bit more. It's been awesome.
my pleasure. This was
Yeah.
fun.